It can feel frustrating when simple routines, like getting up from a favorite armchair or walking to the mailbox, gradually start to feel more difficult than they once did. Maybe you've caught yourself hesitating before climbing a few steps, or you've been told by well-meaning friends or family to take it easy so as not to stress your joints. Yet slowing down too much can lead to even greater stiffness and weakness. The good news is that there's a kinder, more effective approach to maintaining hip strength and stability well into your 70s and beyond. By focusing on gentle, low-impact exercises, you can rediscover a sense of confidence in everyday movements, reduce your risk of falls, and continue enjoying the activities you love. Many older adults believe that once aches and pains set in, the wisest path is minimal movement. However, our bodies are designed to benefit from regular, appropriate activity at every age. Keeping the hips strong isn't about turning back the clock or competing with a younger version of yourself. It's about preserving your freedom and maintaining your quality of life today. Over the years, I've seen seniors regain mobility they thought was gone for good by incorporating carefully chosen exercises into their weekly routines. No extreme workouts, no fancy equipment, just practical, targeted movements done consistently. Together, we're going to explore 7 low-impact exercises that anyone can do to support stronger hips, even at 75 or older. I'll share how each movement can gently challenge the muscles around your hips, what misconceptions might be keeping you on the sidelines, and how real seniors, just like you, overcame those obstacles to find new energy and independence. By trying these techniques, you can enjoy benefits ranging from improved balance and flexibility to greater emotional well-being. Imagine sitting down and standing up with ease, turning over in bed without wincing, or stepping onto a bus without that surge of anxiety. Before we dive in, it's worth remembering that every individual's health journey is unique. If you have specific concerns, especially around chronic conditions or past injuries, take a moment to speak with a healthcare professional. Think of this plan as a friendly guide to get you started, not a strict prescription. My experience as a supportive movement specialist has shown me that when seniors are given the right tools and gentle encouragement, they can exceed their own expectations. By the end of these 7 exercises, you'll have a clearer picture of how to nurture strong, reliable hips. Better yet, you may start seeing small but meaningful progress in daily tasks that once felt daunting. As you listen, consider your current activity level and any small signs that your hips might be asking for attention. Do you feel tension getting out of bed or while shifting positions in your chair? You're not alone, and it's never too late to make a positive change. Let me know if you can relate to those subtle warning signals. Sometimes just acknowledging them is the first step toward improvement. Now let's explore these empowering, low-impact exercises and see how they might fit into your life. Let's begin by challenging the notion that staying seated cannot possibly strengthen your hips. In reality, certain seated exercises provide a gentle way to engage the hips without placing too much pressure on them. One exercise that catches many people by surprise is the simple seated knee lift. Folks often assume that if they are not standing, they're not truly working their muscles. But sometimes remaining in a comfortable seated position can be a perfect place to start rebuilding strength. A common misconception is that if you have limited mobility or use a walker, exercises like knee lifts can't offer any real benefit. Let me tell you about Marjorie, age 78, who spent most of her day sitting due to knee discomfort. She was convinced that exercise had to be painful to work and thus avoided most activity. But after learning about seated knee lifts, she realized she could gently activate her hip flexors and core muscles right from her favorite chair. Initially, Marjorie struggled with lifting her knees for more than a few seconds. Within 2 weeks, however, she noticed that standing up from a seated position didn't tire her out as quickly. It wasn't a dramatic overnight change, but it was enough to encourage her to keep going. Here's how you can give seated knee lifts a try. Sit comfortably in a sturdy chair, ensuring your back is supported. Place your feet flat on the floor, hip width apart. Gently engage your abdominal muscles, then lift one knee toward your chest. Just a few inches is fine. Hold it there for a moment, then slowly lower your foot back to the floor. Alternate between your left and right legs, aiming for 8 to 10 lifts on each side. If you'd like a bit more challenge, you can add a small ankle weight or push your hands lightly against your thigh for additional resistance. The physical benefits of this exercise might seem small at first, but think of each knee lift as building a foundation. Your hip flexors will become more responsive, aiding you the next time you stand up or step over a curb. Psychologically, you'll feel a surge of confidence each time you complete a set. Even short sessions can provide a boost, reminding you that strength building is always within reach, even when seated. After you've gotten the hang of seated knee lifts, you may be curious about other gentle movements that can target the hips from a standing position. Before we move on, I'd love to know if you've already tried any chair-based exercises or if you've found creative ways to stay active while seated. Your experiences might inspire someone else who's on the fence about starting. Feel free to share what's worked well for you. Another exercise that challenges popular assumptions is the standing hip abduction. The common belief is that if we have balance issues or we're worried about our joints, a standing exercise is automatically too risky. In reality, with proper support and a measured approach, standing hip abductions can be incredibly effective for strengthening the outer hips, which play a crucial role in stabilizing your body during everyday movements, like walking and turning. People often assume they need to be perfectly steady on their feet before doing this exercise, but that's what the back of a sturdy chair or a kitchen counter is for: support and stability. Take Bill, who is 74. He lived under the assumption that any standing exercise was off limits because he experienced occasional dizziness. Guided by a physical therapist, he practiced standing hip abductions while lightly holding onto his countertop. Over time, his balance improved, and he felt more secure carrying groceries and walking in crowded places. The key was starting slowly, focusing on his posture, and not pushing too far. If you'd like to try it, stand upright next to a stable surface, such as a countertop or a sturdy chair. Place your feet hip-width apart. Gently shift your weight onto one leg as you slowly lift the other leg out to the side. Keep your torso upright. Try not to lean over. Lift your leg only as far as comfortable, then bring it back to the starting position. Aim for 8 to 12 repetitions on each side, but if that's too much, start with fewer reps and gradually build up. Throughout the movement, keep your knees and toes pointing forward if possible, and remember to breathe steadily. The beauty of standing hip abductions is that you're not just working your hips, you're also encouraging better balance and coordination. On an emotional level, regaining confidence in your ability to stand without fear can be transformative. Many seniors report that practicing this exercise even a few times a week makes them feel more stable and in control of their bodies. That sense of empowerment is priceless. As you move from chair-based to standing exercises, you might notice small improvements in day-to-day life. Climbing the front steps becomes easier, or you feel steadier on your evening walk. If you have any specific concerns about balance, it's wise to start with someone nearby for support. Sometimes having a family member or friend present can bolster your peace of mind. Now I'm curious, do you find yourself avoiding certain tasks because of fear of imbalance? Let me know if hip stability is something that has impacted your everyday activities, and let's see if these exercises could help. The next move is something many of us learned when we were younger, yet might have dismissed as too strenuous: the chair squat. At first glance, squats can appear daunting. Many older adults worry about harming their knees or feeling achy afterward. But the modified version, using a chair for support, is both accessible and remarkably beneficial for strengthening hips, thighs, and even your core. If done carefully, it can also reduce strain on the joints by letting the chair guide your range of motion. One misconception is that squats must be deep or look like a strenuous gym workout to be effective. In truth, even a partial squat, where your thighs are not fully parallel to the floor, can bring real benefits. Think of Ruby, age 76, who had grown fearful of bending her knees due to a past injury. She discovered chair squats at her senior center's fitness class. By only lowering herself a small distance toward the seat, she could gradually rebuild strength in her hips and thighs. As the weeks passed, she found that getting up from her sofa or car seat felt less like a struggle and more like a natural movement again. To try chair squats, stand with the back of your legs lightly touching the seat of a sturdy chair. Your feet should be about shoulder width apart, and your toes can turn slightly outward. Gently engage your core, then bend at the hips and knees as though you're about to sit down. Keep your chest lifted and your weight primarily in your heels. Lower yourself just until your rear either touches the chair or hovers a couple of inches above it. Then slowly push back up to a standing position. If you feel any discomfort, reduce your range of motion or use the chair's armrest for additional support. Beyond the physical benefits, stronger hips, stronger legs, there's a mental payoff. Each successful repetition can help chip away at the fear that squatting or bending is inherently risky. Instead, you realize it's a controlled movement you can adapt to your comfort level. Over time, you might find yourself feeling more self-reliant when you have to pick something up from a lower shelf or get in and out of the car. Once you feel comfortable with these first 3 exercises, give yourself a moment to reflect. Have you started noticing any small improvements, such as less stiffness in your hips or more confidence in your ability to stand? Sometimes recognizing these tiny victories can be the motivation you need to stay consistent. I'd love to hear if you've experienced any subtle shifts in how your hips feel or how you carry yourself. If you're seeking an exercise that works the hips without putting direct pressure on them, gentle bridges might surprise you. Bridges are traditionally known for targeting the glutes and core, but they can also benefit the muscles around your hips in a low-impact way. Many older adults feel uncertain about floor exercises. Perhaps you're worried about getting down and back up again. That's where a comfortable mat, a bit of assistance, and thoughtful planning come in handy. Some seniors even do modified bridges on their bed if it's firm enough, making it easier to transition to a standing position afterward. A common misconception is that any floor-based exercise is automatically strenuous. Yet consider Larry, 80 years old, who had always avoided workouts on the floor. His concern was that he wouldn't be able to get back up. With the help of a friend, he practiced careful ways to kneel, lower himself onto a supportive mat, and then perform gentle bridges. Over time, not only did his hip stability improve, but he found it easier to maneuver in and out of bed. He learned to use a sturdy piece of furniture to help him stand back up, all while maintaining a sense of security. For a basic bridge, lie on your back with your knees bent and your feet flat on the floor, hip width apart. Keep your arms at your sides, palms down. Slowly lift your hips toward the ceiling, creating a straight line from your shoulders to your knees. Pause for a moment, feel the engagement in your glutes and hips, then gently lower your hips back down. Aim for 8 to 10 repetitions, going slowly and controlling the motion. If you find it challenging, start with fewer reps or rest longer between each one. Beyond strengthening the hip and glute areas, bridges can help alleviate lower back tension by encouraging better posture and alignment. Emotionally, it can be quite empowering to move with ease on the floor, especially if it's something you've avoided for years. Each time you complete a set, you're reminding yourself that your body is capable of learning and adapting, even if it's been a while since you last tried. Remember to approach this in any floor exercise with caution, and don't hesitate to ask for help if you're concerned about transitioning on or off the floor. At this point, you've learned about 4 distinct exercises: seated knee lifts, standing hip abductions, chair squats, and gentle bridges. Each one offers a unique way to target your hips without overloading your joints. I'd love to know which of these feels most approachable to you so far. Sharing your thoughts can help others see that they're not alone in this journey. Sometimes addressing hip strength also requires lateral movements, those side-to-side actions that can improve your balance in unexpected ways. Side-lying leg lifts may sound like something only advanced exercisers do, but they're actually very gentle when performed with proper support. Because you're lying down, you remove the strain of standing balance, allowing you to focus on the muscles along the outer hip and thigh. One misconception is that lying on your side to lift your leg is either too easy to be effective or too difficult for seniors to manage. Let me share the story of Dorothy, 77, who hesitated to try any lateral leg movements due to a fear of aggravating her hip bursitis. With a soft mat and a pillow for head support, she discovered that side-lying leg lifts, done slowly and without excess range of motion, actually soothed some of her discomfort over time. She would do short sets, maybe 5 or 6 lifts per side, making sure her form was correct. Within a few weeks, Dorothy reported feeling more stable during her daily walks, less wobbly when stepping sideways, and more confident overall. To give it a try, lie down on your side with your legs extended straight. You can bend your bottom leg slightly for extra stability. Support your head with a pillow or rest it on your arm. Slowly lift your top leg straight up, leading with your heel and keeping your toes pointing forward. Pause when you feel a gentle tension along the side of your hip, then slowly lower your leg back down. Breathing steadily, aim for 8 to 10 repetitions before switching sides. If you need additional support, place your top hand on the floor in front of your torso. Physically, you'll begin to awaken the smaller stabilizing muscles that often get neglected in everyday movements. Emotionally, there's a quiet satisfaction in performing a lateral exercise that might have seemed daunting at first. Each repetition is an opportunity to build trust in your body's abilities, reminding you that life's little sidesteps, like moving around kitchen counters and grocery aisles, can become more secure. Next, let's consider the heel-to-toe walk, sometimes referred to as a tandem walk. This exercise might appear deceptively simple, but it's a powerful way to integrate hip stability and balance training into one seamless movement. Many seniors assume that balance exercises alone won't specifically help the hips. In truth, any practice that refines your balance also engages the muscles surrounding your hips to keep you upright and stable. We often believe that walking in a straight line, one foot directly in front of the other, is something we can only do when we're young or practicing for a sports drill. Yet consider Harriet, age 81. She used to worry about tripping every time she entered a crowded supermarket. Her physical therapist suggested the heel-to-toe walk to improve her gait and strengthen the muscles that keep the pelvis aligned. Harriet started by holding onto a wall for support. Within a month of consistent practice, she felt more stable not just in narrow spaces, but also on uneven sidewalks. If you'd like to try it, find a clear hallway or a space where you can walk in a straight line for several steps without obstacles. Stand upright and position the heel of one foot directly in front of the toes of the other foot, touching or almost touching. If necessary, keep a hand on a wall or sturdy surface at the beginning. Slowly step forward by placing your heel right in front of your other toes. Continue this pattern for about 10 to 12 steps, then turn around carefully and repeat. Focus on a point in front of you to help with balance, and remember to keep breathing steadily. This heel-to-toe motion can be surprisingly challenging at first, but it is immensely beneficial for your hips, ankles, and overall sense of coordination. Each step strengthens the muscles that help prevent you from swaying side to side. Psychologically, feeling more stable during this controlled walk often translates into less worry about stumbling in everyday situations. The sense of achievement you'll feel when you can walk a few steps heel to toe without a wobble is tangible proof that you're actively improving your stability. After trying these 6 exercises, you might notice which ones you find easiest and which ones present a bit more of a challenge. That's perfectly normal. Everyone's body is different. Give yourself the freedom to adapt, whether that means fewer repetitions or a shorter range of motion. Let me know if any of these movements have surprised you in a good way or if you're facing any specific hurdles. Sometimes, simply stating a challenge out loud can help us figure out ways to overcome it. Finally, let's talk about step-ups, a terrific functional exercise for hip strength that also translates beautifully into day-to-day activities. People often assume that step-ups are automatically too advanced if they've noticed an increase in aches or have concerns about knee or hip replacements. But there are ways to modify step-ups so that they're gentle yet effective. The key is choosing a step height that matches your comfort level. Sometimes even a phone book or a single stair is enough to begin. A typical misconception is that any stepping exercise risks joint damage. However, when performed with proper alignment and a suitable step height, step-ups can be a safe way to strengthen the hip flexors, glutes, and supporting stabilizer muscles. Consider Robert, 75, who had trouble climbing the single step to his back porch. He started practicing mini step-ups on the bottom stair of his house, holding onto the railing for support. Over a few weeks, he noticed that not only could he climb onto his porch more easily, but he also walked with less hesitation on inclines. If you want to try step-ups, begin by finding a low step, no more than a few inches high if you're just starting. Stand facing the step with your feet hip-width apart. Hold on to a railing or wall if you need extra stability. Place one foot on the step, pressing through your heel to lift your body up. Tap your other foot briefly on the step, then carefully step back down, starting with the foot that tapped. Repeat 8 to 10 times per leg if possible, but feel free to do fewer reps. The important thing is to move in a controlled and deliberate way. Physically, step-ups are a fantastic way to mimic real-world tasks like climbing stairs or stepping onto a curb. Emotionally, each completed step can bolster your self-assurance. There's something invigorating about conquering an exercise that directly translates into greater ease in daily activities. Once you gain confidence, you might gradually increase the step height, but always prioritize form over ambition. Safety and consistency will bring longer-lasting results than pushing too far, too fast. Having explored all 7 exercises, seated knee lifts, standing hip abductions, chair squats, gentle bridges, side-lying leg lifts, the heel-to-toe walk, and step-ups, you now have a toolkit for fostering healthier, stronger hips. Each movement challenges a different aspect of hip function, from front to back motion to side stability, and each offers tangible benefits in daily life. How you incorporate them is entirely up to you. You might choose to do 1 or 2 movements per day or cycle through all 7 over the course of a week. I'm eager to hear which ones resonate with you the most, so please share your insights. As always, if something feels uncomfortable or painful, it's wise to consult a healthcare professional who knows your personal history. There's a reason these 7 exercises can be game changers for seniors who want to strengthen their hips. Hips are at the heart of so many basic activities, from walking, standing up, and climbing stairs, to simply maintaining balance. If you neglect them, life can feel progressively more restricted. But if you nurture them, you stand a better chance of maintaining the freedom to engage in activities that make you happy. Every small effort contributes to a bigger picture of well-being, allowing you to regain that crucial sense of stability and independence. Of course, it's easy to let routine tasks or old beliefs about aging get in the way. There might be a little voice in your head saying, "At my age, it's too late," or "I can't do that with my knees." Yet thousands of older adults have proven otherwise. While no exercise routine can guarantee a life free from aches or medical concerns, consistent, gentle motion often yields significant improvements in both comfort and capability. It's about making gradual progress and celebrating each milestone. You don't need to wait for the perfect moment to begin. Even starting with just a couple of the exercises, like seated knee lifts and gentle bridges, can set you on a new path. When you feel ready, add more variety. If you have a friend or family member who's also interested in improving hip strength, consider doing these exercises together for accountability. You might be surprised how quickly the habit forms when you make it a shared experience. If you're feeling motivated, one immediate step is to pick 1 exercise from this list and give it a go today. That's the simplest way to get started. Another option is to plan out a short weekly schedule, penciling in a few minutes each day to focus on 1 or 2 exercises. If you're looking for deeper engagement, you could even reach out to a senior-oriented fitness group in your area or online. There are communities of older adults who share tips, encouragement, and success stories that will keep you inspired. Remember that real progress often happens gradually. Just as Rome wasn't built in a day, your muscles and joints adapt over time. You might notice one day that it's easier to step into the bathtub, or that your hips feel more stable when you stand from the couch. Those moments of realization can be truly life-affirming. It's also important to maintain open communication with your healthcare providers. If you have any underlying conditions, they might recommend a specific modification or even suggest additional therapies to complement your exercises. This way, you can tailor your routine to your unique needs, ensuring that you're not only building strength, but also doing so safely. Ultimately, the choice is yours. These exercises are an invitation, not a mandate. You've accumulated a lifetime of wisdom, and you know your body better than anyone else. But I hope you'll give at least some of these ideas a try, because I've seen firsthand how transformative they can be. Each of us has a right to move freely in our environment, to sit and stand without fear, and to retain as much independence as possible as the years go by. What lies ahead if you decide to embrace these gentle movements is a sense of empowerment. You may find yourself saying yes to that stroll in the park or feeling more confident when boarding a bus. You might stand a bit taller, carry your groceries with less strain, or even inspire a friend to join you. Through consistent practice, you'll likely discover that focusing on your hips has ripple effects throughout your body and mind, improving posture, increasing energy, and uplifting your outlook on aging itself. Take this opportunity to invest in your well-being. If you're ready to move forward, pick one exercise you feel most comfortable attempting tonight. If you're craving more guidance, jot down questions you want to ask your doctor or a physical therapist. And if you know someone who could benefit from this information, share it with them. Sometimes all it takes is a little nudge from a trusted friend to spark a new and healthy habit. You've come this far, and that shows a willingness to explore what's possible. Aging doesn't have to mean giving up on your body. It means taking a more thoughtful, mindful approach to care, adjusting as needed, and celebrating every step in the right direction. I appreciate you spending your time here, and I hope you feel equipped, informed, and encouraged to take action. The strongest stories of senior health are written one deliberate, empowering movement at a time, and your next chapter can start right now. Thank you for being open to learning about these exercises. Whether you perform one or all 7, whether you start today or next week, remember that it's never too late to make a positive change. You have the wisdom, and now you have some practical tools. Here's to stronger hips, greater stability, and the fulfilling life that awaits when you feel confident in your ability to move.